Toledo, Ohio, the Glass City. Beautiful downtown Toledo. There you see the fiberglass tower, home of Tony Pacos, famous hot dogs, and the Toledo Mud Hens, and the beautiful Maumee River. It is also the home of Toledo Speedway, which unfortunately today doesn't have a lot of race fans in it. But we are about to go racing. There you see Ty Gibbs. He finished second in the Hearst Potato Chips 200 here last season. He's going to be chasing Sam Mayer, who started off the ARCA Menards Series East season with a win down at New Smyrna Speedway. They're going to have their hands full with Nick Sanchez, who will be chasing after the checkered flag here this afternoon. Chase Cabri, his teammate, also looking for victory lane, his third career victory, a possibility here today. Welcome to Toledo Speedway. My name is Charlie Krall. I'm alongside a socially distant Kenny Schrader joining us here this weekend as we get ready to go racing. Kenny, you're a five-time winner here at Toledo Speedway in the ARCA Menards Series. These young drivers today have 200 laps ahead of them. What did they have to do to park down in victory lane here this afternoon?
Well, the first thing they got to do is keep the fenders on the cars. You know, you get in there, a lot of enthusiasm out there. You know, young drivers, a lot of talent, really good young talent. But enthusiasm gets you in trouble at lap 50 when you don't have to worry about it yet. You just keep putting yourself in a position until the end of the race. That's
right. This is a 200 lapper. A lot of these ARCA Menards Series East and West races, 150 laps in distance. What's that extra 50 laps going to mean for these drivers tonight?
Well, 2 stops. We have 2 mandatory stops. So, you know, it's still the whole race is about positioning and knowing what you need to tell your crew to give the right adjustments.
We will get into the starting lineup here in just a moment, but Sam Mayer sped to the the General Tire Pole Award earlier this afternoon. Starting from the pole, he's going to have clean track. Is the process for you as a pole winner here? Do you just go out and be a rabbit and try to get the rest of the field behind you?
Well, we never really did that. We were lucky to get some poles here, but we want to go just fast enough to stay ahead of everybody,
right.
Which sounds, you know, it sounds easier than it is, but just you don't want to go grind up your stuff right off the bat.
Sam's had a great start to the season. He picked up the win at New Smyrna in the opening East Series race of the season. He went out west, waxed everybody at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas to win the first West Series race. We've had a bit of a break, momentum-wise. Does that carry over with a 3-month break, or is it like restarting the season all over again?
Well, I think we're just restarting all over, just like you're going to the next race. Obviously, the delay, but the teams that were on top of their game, they're going to stay there. Now, some of the other teams might give them some time to catch up, but when you're at the top, they'll be okay. They'll be okay.
We also see Ty Gibbs going to start right behind him. Those two have had a couple of battles, particularly last year at WWT Raceway at Gateway. There was a little bit of contact on the last lap. As a driver, do you keep that stored in the back of the memory banks there for when you go racing later on?
Well, you race everybody how they race you, and if you feel you got done wrong, you might store that in your memory. You won't have to remember about that on lap 50.
Right.
But as you get close to 200, you'll remember it.
199, I bet you, is going to come from the back of the mind to the front of the mind. Yeah, we've got 200 laps to go here this afternoon. There you see Ty Gibbs strapped in and ready to go in that number 18, the Monster Energy Drink Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, looking for another victory. He's picked up the win at Loudon last year, also picked up a West Series win out at Phoenix to end the season in 2019. He's got a couple of wins in the ARCA Menards Series. You know, with the name like Gibbs, it's not like he doesn't have to do a lot to draw attention, but he still wants to come out here and prove himself, doesn't he?
Well, you have to perform. You know, there's a lot of quality teams out here with top-notch equipment. They're obviously one of them. It's not like, I mean, they've got good stuff, but it's not like it's head and shoulders above everybody else. And when you're sitting in that seat, it's up to you. I mean, if you're not getting it done, everyone knows why it's not happening.
Yeah, you've got good equipment. There's really no excuses sometimes. And Ty is ready to rock and roll. There you see the beautiful Toledo Speedway. 15 cars lined up and ready to rock and roll for 200 laps here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Qualifying held just a little bit ago. Sam Mayer picking up that General Tire Pole Award. And we are ready to get the engines cranked. And for that, we are going to go to Bob Clark, the VP of Marketing for Her Foods.
Good evening. I'm Bob Clark, Vice President of Marketing of the Her Foods Company. Welcome to Toledo Speedway for the ARCA Menards Series East HERS Potato Chips 200. We realize these are unprecedented times, and as part of the efforts to bring normalcy back to all Americans, we're proud to sponsor tonight's race and bring it to you on NBC Sports Network and NBC Sports Gold Track Pass. On behalf of title, series, sponsor, and HERS retail partner Menards, and from all of us at HER Foods, we invite you to sit back and enjoy the race. Now, drivers, start your engines.
Engines roaring to life down on the front straightaway here at Toledo Speedway. There you see Taylor Gray in the DGR Crosley number 17. He's making his ARCA Menards Series East debut here today. The younger brother of Tanner Gray, who we saw on his side down at New Smyrna Speedway. Hopefully we'll keep all four wheels on the ground for young Taylor Gray here today. There's Giovanni Bramante, fifth place finisher in the season opener at New Smyrna. Starting fifth here tonight, looking to carry that momentum on in the Visconti Motorsports number 74.
How many weeks since we heard the sound of the
it's
ARCA
been too long.
engines?
It's been way too long. I think we did a count. 107 days, Kenny. That's too long. Way too long. Engines roaring to life, and we will roll off 4 pace laps here this afternoon at Toledo Speedway. Half mile, Kenny. This is, there you see a beautiful shot of the front straightaway here. Looks kind of flat. That exit off of turn 4, though, a little tricky getting in and out of these corners. It looks like it doesn't necessarily have a lot to it, but this place can reach up and bite you.
Real quick, it's very deceiving. You run out of room coming off the corners. When you're racing someone side by side here, you both have to be paying attention because you can get yourself in trouble.
There you see Sam Mayer and Chase Cabri up on the front row. Sam looking for his second consecutive East Series victory here in 2020. Some new colors on that automobile as well, picking up some title sponsorship to go along with the Chevy Accessories Chevrolet. Let's take a look at the race analysis. The racetrack here, half-mile oval with 11, 12, and 13 degrees of banking in the corners. Total of 100 laps, 200 laps, 100 miles, the race distance. We're going to have 2 competition cautions here tonight, Kenny, and no live pit stops here tonight, which is kind of a good thing with the protocol that we're under here. But do you race to those competition breaks, or do you keep that 200 lap race distance in mind when we go racing here tonight?
You've always got the 200 in the back of your mind, but it's easier. The farther up you are in this race, it just makes your day easier. That sounds simple, but even if you got a real good car and you're back in the 6th spot, it's tough to get around those 5 guys, man. You got to really be careful. Now with those competition cautions, you've got to get it done because your pit crew can't get it done for you on the pit road. So you got to get it done on the racetrack.
Let's take a look at our Bounty Rookie Spotlight. He's going to be starting outside row number 2. There you see him in the number 17, Taylor Gray. We said the younger brother of Tanner Gray. Taylor making his ARCA Menards Series debut. Kenny, he lobbied for months to make his debut down at what would have been the second race of the season at Five Flags Speedway, but wasn't quite 15 years of age. This break actually playing out just right for Taylor because now 15 years old, he's finally able to climb behind the wheel, and he's got himself a great starting spot for his first career series start here today.
ARCA's really done a good job with that 15. You have to be 15 then, not the day after, not the day before.
And remember, Todd Gilliland picked up his first career win here a couple of years ago, the day after he turned 15 years old of age. Let's see how Taylor Gray does here in career start number 1. Let's take a look at our starting lineup here today. Sam Mayer and Chase Cabri up on the front row. Ty Gibbs and Taylor Gray starting back in row number 2. Giovanni Bramante and Max McLaughlin back in row number 3. Brett Holmes, Nick Sanchez, Mason Diaz, and Parker Retzloff rounding out your top 10. I'm going to keep my eye on Ryan Repco starting back in the 11th position in that number 20 car for Venerini Motorsports. That car actually won this race last year when it was part of the ARCA Menards Series. Justin Carroll, Mike Basham, Bob Pulaski, and Brad Smith rounding out the 15 cars that are going to go to battle here in the HERS Potato Chips 200. Bobby Thompson bringing the pace car down the front straightaway here and looking at the 1 to go signal. Ken, 1 lap to go. What's going through these drivers' minds is we're ready 1 lap away from getting the green flag.
Oh, you've been waiting, especially after this wait. since it's been so many days. You're just butterflies. You're ready to go. Just hoping, just thinking through your mind everything you have to do. This place is so critical about hitting your marks every single lap. And when I'm talking 6 inches off,
right,
will really affect your lap times. So right now, everybody's just pumped up.
Pace car now starting to stretch its way out in front of the field. Sam Mayer and Chase Cabri up on the front row. Taylor Gray back in row number 2. Field now rolling through turns 3 and 4. It is time to rock, roll, and rumble here at Toledo Speedway. Green flag is out, and we are racing here at Toledo Speedway. And on the brake, Sam Mayer jumping out as Ty Gibbs now sliding inside of Chase Cabri. But Cabri with the run down the backstretch. He is going to take over that second spot, slamming the door on Ty Gibbs there as we see Sam Mayer lead him across the stripe to complete lap number 1. Good battle for that 4th position. There you see Giovanni Bramante to the inside. Taylor Gray drifting up the racetrack. Gray going to try to slam the door shut there on Max McLaughlin. As the top 10 cars now streaming single file off of turn number 4.
I think in qualifying, the top 10 cars are within 25 hundredths of a second, so that's going to be tight.
Quarter of a second separating those top 10 cars, and it looks like that quarter of a second all here intact. Here is the green flag is out, and we are racing Sam Mayer now stretching out. Now Ty Gibbs looking to the inside of Chase Cabri down in turns 1 and 2. Get that second spot to Ty Gibbs. He's going to try to bring Giovanni Bramante along with him. Bramante going to take over that 3rd spot and put Chase Cabri back to 4th as we come across the lap number 4. Can Ty Gibbs now close that gap in on Sam Mayer up front? Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Gibbs starting to reel Sam Mayer in down the backstretch and off into turns 3 and 4.
When Ty went to second place, his car really rotated through the center and stayed down below coming off the turn. That's what you have to do here, is try to be able to get your nose in underneath him on the exit of the turn.
Katie, we talked about the 200-lap race distance here today as we start to roll in on, looks like Farmer Bob Pulaski in the number 11E automobile. These drivers got a clean racetrack for the most part in front of them. How hard is it for these guys to try to stay patiently aggressive, so to speak, here and not overextend these race cars early in the going?
Oh, it's extremely hard. You know, I mean, the leader sets the pace, and if everyone else thinks they're faster, well, they want to go. They want to get around him. I just really impressed about how close all the cars are.
Top 3 cars under a blanket down the backstretch. Continuing to hold on with Ty Gibbs knocked on the back doors. They roll their way through turns 3 and 4. There you see a good battle for position just outside the top 5. Max McLaughlin with that spot. See a little smoke out of the number 1 car as Brett Holmes in number 23 laying the bumper to him there through turns 1 and 2 as we see a battle for the lead up front. Ty Gibbs to the inside, Sam Mayer to the outside. Gibbs trying to muscle his way, give him the lead here at the stripe by inches as he takes over the top spot free and clear. Giovanni Bramante moving his way into the 2nd position, and Sam Mayer now back to 3rd. Didn't see that coming this early in the race. Ty Gibbs wanting to get out and set sail as there you see that battle for position just outside the top 5 continuing to brew as Brett Holmes looking to the inside of Max McLaughlin. There you see Mason Diaz of the number 25 as well. These cars mixing and dicing down the backstretch off into turns 3 and 4.
When Ty took over 2nd place, he did it really. You could tell his car was exceptionally good. So, not a big surprise there.
And you said it. He had a little bit better car. He wanted to get out and go. He wasn't going to wait.
Yeah, when we say a better car, we don't mean better equipment necessarily.
Right.
It's just handling a little better.
Starting to close in on Mike Basham at the front of the field. There you see Mason Diaz working his way underneath Max McLaughlin. The 25 car was an interesting story earlier in the day, Kenny. Mason led practice. Car got a little tight on him in qualifying, and he ended up 9th in qualifying. How is that tight condition going to affect him as we go racing throughout the course of 200 laps here today?
Well, it depends if it's still tight or if it's freed up. Most of the time when you go to qualify here, you wind up getting looser. But he got tighter, definitely didn't qualify where he wanted to. So if they were able to make an adjustment and work on it, we'll find out.
Mason kept sharp during the break, running some late model races from the Cabri Motor Speedway in Hickory, North Carolina. Good to see him back in action here as he chases the ARCA Menards Series East title for Venturini Motorsports here in 2020. There's the battle for the lead up front. Ty Gibbs has it. Giovanni Bramante wants it. 4-car length gap there as they roll through turns 3 and 4. Ty picked up a couple of wins last season in the ARCA Menards Series. Picked up career win number 1 at WWT Raceway and Gateway with a last lap pass, then absolutely dominated at Salem, leading 196 of 200 laps.
Watch the entrance right here with the 4-car going in turn 1. See
there we
that
go.
smoke right there?
Yeah.
I've been watching it. It's been there for the last 10 laps or so. I don't have a good viewpoint for down turn 3. Television there didn't show it, but we definitely got smoke off the turn 1 on the 4-car.
Hard to tell if that might be a tire rub or out of the tailpipes, but there definitely is a trail of smoke off Chase Cabri in that number 4 Toyota.
Sure doesn't seem to be hampering his performance.
Started outside the front row, but settled back in comfortably into that 4th position as we continue to log some laps here in the early going of the Hers Potato Chips 200 here at Toledo Speedway.
When we would run this race with pit stops a while ago, lap 75, which would be our first break, is about when you're really starting to scream for tires.
So that's about 50 laps from now. Lap 20 in the books right now. There you see Sam Mayer trying to hold off Chase Cabri for that 3rd spot. There's a shot of our leaders. Ty Gibbs trying to hold off Giovanni Bramante there as they work to the outside of the 11E automobile of Farmer Bob Pulaski. I was saying Ty Gibbs dominated at Salem last fall, leading 196 of 200 laps. He keeps telling me he's going to come to one of these shows and lead all 200 laps. Unfortunately, not going to make it happen here today as Sam Mayer led the early part of this one here today, but Ty Gibbs trying to put his stranglehold on this one as he jumped out to an early lead in that number 18 automobile and continues to stretch out the advantage now. About a 4 or 5 car length lead over Gio Bramante in the 2nd position.
Well, it would not be a surprise for me to see Ty come to a race and lead all the laps. He's definitely capable, but he really remembers, he needs to remember that last one is really more important than all them other ones.
That's the important one for sure. There you see the battle for the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position. Chase Cabri running in that 4th spot. He's got Taylor Gray sitting right off his back bumper. Brett Holmes and Mason Diaz also in that pack as well. Looks like Taylor Gray starting to get a little racy there. Now, you know, Kenny, you've driven all kinds of race cars all across the country. Making that jump from a late model car to an ARCA car for a young guy like Taylor Gray, what's he dealing with here today with an extra 800 or 1,000 pounds on this race car?
Oh, just what that 800,000 pounds, just everything reacts so much slower. When you turn the car, it's not quite as responsive. It takes longer for the car to that it's really stuck underneath you because it's just a lot of extra weight to carry. And it's a big adjustment. He's doing a very good job.
Taylor, the younger brother of Tanner Gray. Tanner was the 2018 NHRA Pro Stock champion, made the transition into oval track racing. And younger brother Taylor following in his footsteps as well. That's an interesting transition to make, don't you think?
I mean, we have a lot of people transition from open wheel cars or from dirt cars or something like that, but not many have transitioned from drag racing and done such a good job.
I can't think of many at all. There you see Taylor working his way off turn 4 as he circulates in the 5th position. Brett Holmes right off of his back bumper. And we see some problems here on the front stretch. The 25 car, Mason Diaz, suddenly dropping off the pace and nearly coming to a stop. Kenny, there you see him trying to work his way down onto pit road. Doesn't look like he's going to make it, and that's going to bring out the caution for the first time here tonight in the Hers Potato Chips 200. 30 laps in the books. Started out like a really good day for that 25 bunch, and it seemed to go haywire there in qualifying, and now things really starting to go haywire here in the race as Mason Diaz has come to a stop and dropped off the lead lap here to bring out the first caution flag of the night at Toledo Speedway. And no real indication what might have happened there, Kenny, but what would cause a car to just suddenly shut off here like that? Ignition?
Well, I'm not sure it's shut off.
Yeah, it could be drive lane or something.
I don't know. I'm not sure it's shut off, but let's put it this way. It's not getting power to the rear wheels.
Those are the important
That's
ones.
the important
Those
part.
are the important ones.
Whether it's drive line or engine or ignition or whatever, it's not getting power to the rear wheels. But I thought I heard it running. It's hard to tell from the boost, but I thought it was running.
And there you see the Benarini Motorsports crew jumping into action. They're going to go inside the car. Looks like there might be an ignition issue with that automobile. Now they're going to go under the rear of that car, so it might be a rear gear issue or something like that. So a tough break anyway for Mason Diaz,
it's one of those real important things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Was making his way up from that 9th starting position, was in that battle as we were just talking about for the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position. So they're going to go underneath. Might be a drive shaft or a rear gear issue there. I thought it might have been running as well when he coasted to a stop here, but in any case, tough break for Mason Diaz, one of the championship contenders here in 2020 for the ARCA Menards Series East. Field continuing to work under the first caution.
Veteran crew there. You can see the jack stand was placed there.
That's it. You want to see that if you're going to be crawling underneath there.
It's just scary on pit road because the adrenaline tells you to get there, get it fixed.
Right. And we're not going to really talk about what's going on pit road because we're not going to have live pit stops here tonight. But this is a very tricky pit road as well. As you can see, it wraps around inside turns 1 and 2. And pit road is open should anybody need to make their way down pit road. But it is a little bit tricky down there because it's a curved pit road.
Yes, almost all the way around. The last half a dozen pits on the back straightaway are the only ones that are straight.
1 to go signal given here at the stripe. We're going to double them up for the restart. Ty Gibbs going to elect to start from the inside groove. Giovanni Romani up to the outside. Sam Mayer and Chase Cabri back in row 2. There you see a look at those pits on the backstretch, Kenny. And those are the ones that you're going to want to have if they were live pit stops here tonight. But in any case, we will have a couple of competition breaks coming up a little bit later on this evening. And the interesting part is you're going to leave pit road the order that you came in, as long as you don't lose a lap. So that's good.
That's a good thing. It's very good for the teams at this level racing. We need to worry about on-track performance right now and really building on that.
Field making its way through turns 3 and 4 into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air and on the break. Ty Gibbs with the jump, and Sam Mayer going to follow him through this time. He's to the inside of Gio Bramante as they race their way through turns 1 and 2 and give Sam Mayer that second spot. Bramante going to fall back into 3rd with Chase Cabri 4th. Taylor Gray slotting back into that 5th spot, and now Sam Mayer all over the back bumper of Ty Gibbs. Getting a little recharge here after that short caution flag. Sam Mayer now trying to track down Ty Gibbs and retake that top spot. Side-by-side action there a little bit deeper in the field. There's Ryan Repco in the 20 car getting pushed aside there by Nick Sanchez in the 6. Ty Gibbs got a little breathing room now, Kenny. 3-car length advantage now working down the backstretch. And like you said, you just want to keep that driver in the rearview mirror and just know you got a little breathing room on, don't you?
Yeah, and it's you wouldn't think that 3-car lengths is breathing room, but it's a whole lot better than when that spotters say inside, and they just continually looking on the inside and stuff. So, yeah, he can kind of control things.
Ty Gibbs adding to that lead here as we come across the paint lap 38 this time by. There's Chase Cabri in the 4-car, and trying to look to see if that smoke's still evident. Didn't see it that time as we raced off into turns 1 and 2, but looks like that smoke issue on the 4-car might have cleared up just a little bit. We'll see if we can get a shot of him as we come down into turns 1 and 2 this time with the sunshine on the other side. Don't see that smoke anymore, but did see some smoke off the 17 car. Maybe a little tire smoke there. Got a shove from Brett Holmes, got shoved up onto the groove. Holmes to the inside now, trying to take over that 5th spot as they race through turns 3 and 4.
The composite body that the ARCA series has went to is really been good for body panels getting against the tires and not cutting tires and stuff. So it's really made you can race harder because you don't have to worry about getting fenders on the tires all the time.
So these guys doing a lot of beating and banging with these 5-star composite bodies. How about that little slip and slide, dip and dive there? Taylor Gray was shoved to the outside, tried to look back to the inside there on Brett Holmes, but he did see the lap car there. Bob Pulaski down to the inside, so he's going to have to fall back in line. We also saw just a couple of laps ago Nick Sanchez in the 6 car make his way past Max McLaughlin in the 1, and there you see Nick in the 6, now closing in on the back bumper of Taylor Gray there through turns 3 and 4. So we've got a 3-car battle for that 5th position. A little smoke off the rear end of the 6 automobile. Yeah. Kenny, I don't know what the deal is there. These guys lighting up that right rear.
Yeah, the 4 gave it to the 6.
Passed it along to his teammate. That's
yeah,
right.
I don't think it's off the. I mean, I don't think it's off tire because they'd have to be sliding there. But
right.
It's a little intriguing.
I hope it's not coming out of the tailpipes of these cars this early in the going here. We're coming up on the 1/4 mark. 45 laps now in the books. There you see Sanchez trying to look to the inside of Taylor Gray down the front stretch. Taylor's going to give him a little bit of room. Not a lot. Saw the 6 car down on the rumble strips there, but he is going to take over the 5th position. So move Nick Sanchez up into the top 5. Excuse me, that was a battle for 6th. But Nick Sanchez on the move here in the early going. Now trying to make his way up to battle for that 5th spot with Brett Holmes in the 23 automobile.
You know what's really neat about the way the ARCA rules are now is, like, I believe Brett Holmes is a 100% ARCA car running with the East cars.
Right.
So you can if you have one car, one engine, you can go to so many different races. I mean, all over the country.
One car eligible in 39 different races. How about that?
Yeah, and how many states and how many facilities. I mean,
not bad.
Unbelievable.
There's the battle for the lead up at the front of the field. Ty Gibbs continuing to hold on the top spot over Sam Mayer in second. Sam started from the General Tire pole here tonight. Currently in that second spot. Ty Gibbs working to the outside. Bob Pulaski there down the back stretch. Top 2 have got about a half straightaway advantage over Gio Bramani, who is falling back into the 3rd position. Gio's running all by himself at that 3rd spot with these top 2. Sam Mayer doesn't want to let him drive off into the distance too much here, Kenny, does he? Because even with these brakes, you just don't know how many caution flags you're going to have, and you don't want to let that leader run too far out in front of you.
Well, you still got to be able to size yourself up against the leader all the time. So we got to run hard for 50 laps because we're going to know that last part of the race is going to be a 50-lap segment. So we got to know how we stack up against everybody else.
Seeing a good battle for the 4th position on the racetrack. Chase Cabri in 4th. He's got Brett Holmes all over him. Nick Sanchez has closed the gap as well. Got about 5 cars running nose to tail. Make it 6 cars nose to tail for that 4th position. There you see Brett Holmes trying to chase down Chase Cabri for that 4th spot. Brett had a pretty solid season last year in the ARCA Menards series. Picked up a couple of 3rd place finishes. Still looking for career win number 1. Could have a shot to pick up the checkered flag here tonight as he goes ARCA Menards Series East racing for the first time. He's got a pretty interesting background. He's a former pro late model champion down at Five Flags Speedway, but he also slings dirt against Red Farmer down at the Talladega Short Track.
Yeah, man, I met Brett years and years ago. His daddy, Stacy, raced with some, and he good little dirt racer. Good dirt racer. Won championship at the Five Flags in Pensacola and has adapted to the ARCA series very good and been so close to winning the race. Just hasn't got it done yet.
Crew Chief Shane Huffman, a former driver himself, also calling the shots on this automobile. You know, the interesting thing about Brett Holmes, he does all this racing while working full-time for his dad's construction company and going to school full-time. He's a busy young man.
Yes, he is.
And there you see him trying to track down Chase Cabri down the backstretch. Just enough to maybe knock on that back door just a little bit, but give him a little bit of racing room as we continue to circulate just past the 50-lap mark here in the Herd Potato Chips 200 here at Toledo Speedway. The ARCA Menards Series East return to racing after a layoff from February until June. So good to go back racing here live on Track Pass. There you see Nick Sanchez getting into the back of Brett Holmes a little bit right there. Brett doing a really nice, that dirt experience coming in handy there.
It helped. You know, what you see a lot of times is, we used to kid about it. It's like you'll get right up on somebody and take the air off their spoiler, and then you hit them.
Then you hit them.
That really helps.
Then you hit them. I like it.
Then you hit them.
I love it. Well, Brett did a nice job keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nick Sanchez's car, his car has really come into him here. He has made his way up through the back half of the top 10 here, and he's battle his way up into the top 5. This 4-car battle for the 4th position. There you see Taylor Gray working to the outside of Bob Pawlowski there as they work their way off turn 2 down the backstretch.
Still getting some smoke out of the 6th car. Just cannot figure that out.
Sometimes that's just the way they run, isn't it?
It is, I guess. I've been doing this a long time. There's still a lot of things I don't understand about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too. Chase Cabri continuing to hold on to that 4th position. Brett Holmes back in 5th. Coming up on the 65 lap mark here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Chase Cabri, a 2-time winner, picked up a couple of victories last season, looking for this first win of 2020. There you see the battle for the lead. Sam Mayer closing in on Ty Gibbs here.
Action's picking up there.
You know, Kenny, as a driver, you probably do want to lead the field down pit road when that break comes up here in just a little bit. But do you want to race this hard this early?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, like I say, you're sizing yourself up. You don't want to do anything that think's going to hurt your end of the day. But Sam's controlling what he's doing, where the front end of his car is. So he's just seeing what he's got.
Working to the outside of Justin Carroll in the 91 automobile. Justin's got a little Toledo tie on that automobile here this weekend. Longtime crew chief Jim Long, a Toledo native. Jim's a former Cup Series crew chief, gone to Victory Lane at the Brickyard with Ricky Rudd, and now guiding Justin Carroll.
Jim was with Hendrick Motorsports for
you guys might have crossed paths a couple times in the hallway there,
most
huh?
Definitely.
That's right. There you see Sam Mayer now right on the back bumper as they work their way off into turns 3 and 4. You know, Kenny, when we had this long layoff, I've done a lot of exercising. I've done some biking. I've done some jogging. I know you spent a lot of time on your motorcycle. I talked to Sam Mayer. He spent some time out on the lake. It's not too shabby, huh?
Well, these guys are young. They're in good shape. It's not a problem.
Right. I don't mind the lake life myself. He had the lake hair going on the other day. I was a little jealous. I don't have as much hair as I used to back in the day, but got in a little sun and got to relax a little bit. How important is it to keep those batteries fresh and recharged when we do get out here and go racing?
Oh, I just soon race every day.
That's what you do, race every day, don't you?
I'm just used to. I think I'm always used to being just half full, and just go to the next racetrack and do it.
That's it. Well, Sam Mayer going to try to do it here today. He's about a car length, now making half a car length off of Ty Gibbs as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Looks like the 21 car might be working through the corners just a little bit better as he's going to look to the inside. Got Max McLaughlin there kind of throwing a pick, but Sam Mayer starting to get racy here as we're closing in on lap 75. Sam Mayer now to the inside. Time to force the issue, Kenny. Sam Mayer trying to take over the lead.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Max up here. If he can get it done, or Ty can keep him bound down, and
Max just fast enough to stay kind of right there in front of this battle for the lead. Don't know which lane is going to make it happen. Can Sam shove him up the racetrack a little bit? Is he going to look to make it 3 wide? Oh, Sam. Oh, Ty Gibbs going to hold on to that top spot. No, he's going to make it 3 wide. Sam Mayer dipping to the inside. What a battle for the lead here at Toledo. Sam Mayer shoving his way to the top spot as they work their way through slow traffic. Give the lead to Sam Mayer here at the stripe.
I said we were young with a lot of enthusiasm.
Right.
And that's definitely, but I mean, they played it excellent, excellent job.
That was definitely some aggressive driving by Sam Mayer in the number 21 car to take over the top spot as we come to complete lap 75. 125 laps to go here in the Her Foods 200 at Toledo Speedway. And you could just kind of see that 21 car was coming to Sam. He was turning a lot better in the corners there than the 18 was that last handful of laps. And it was surprising to see him get that aggressive as the caution flag has come out here for the second time today. Competition caution number 1. And with that, we are going to step away for a quick break. You're watching the Hearst Potato Chips 200 for the ARCA Menards Series East here at Toledo Speedway. Well, race fans, thank you so much for joining us here on Track Pass on NBC Sports Gold. Charlie Krall alongside Kenny Schrader as we bring you the Hearst Potato Chips 200 here at Toledo Speedway. The return to racing for the ARCA Menards Series East. Caution flag out for the second time here this afternoon. Sam Mayer currently on top of the leaderboard.
Max McLaughlin getting his lap back.
You are watching the Hearst Potato Chips 200 here at Toledo Speedway. We're going to step away for a quick break. Sam Mayer currently your leader. Ty Gibbs sitting in second. Gio Bramante in third. Chase Cabri and Brett Holmes rounding out the top five. We'll be right back here at Toledo Speedway. Their way down pit road for the first round of controlled pit stops here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. There you see that uniquely shaped pit road here at Toledo Speedway. These pit stalls don't really, not going to be super critical here today under this format of racing, but what are these teams going to be doing under these competition cautions? Tires, adjustments, keeping the driver comfortable?
Well, driver comfort shouldn't be real bad today because it's not killer hot outside, but they're going to put some tires on it. They're going to make some chassis adjustments and just try it overall to make that thing faster.
Well, the 21 car got pretty fast there towards the end of that first segment, didn't he?
But now what's also got to be going through your mind is they weren't the fastest car for 50 laps. They were the fastest car for 75 laps. He came on in those last 25 laps, so they're going to need to do what they got to do to make their car a shorter run car.
And there you see them starting to go to work on the 21 car. Actually, we'll have about a 5-minute break here under the competition caution format here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. So not like they got a lot of time, but a little more leisurely than maybe your normal caution flag pit stop.
Well, 5 minutes versus 15 seconds is pretty big difference.
Right.
You know,
actually saw the GMS racing crew make a little bit of a chassis adjustment there. A couple of rounds.
Yeah.
Looked like a couple of rounds out of the 21 car. So what does that mean? They're going to loosen that car up a little bit?
Well, if they took it out of the right rear, they'd be putting wedge in it.
Gotcha.
Or they could have been over there on the track bar. So we don't really know which.
Let's take a look at Ty Gibbs, who was running second as we went to the caution flag. There you see a crew member underneath the right rear of that one, maybe pulling a spring rubber on that one, looking like, to me. My uneducated opinion on that one.
Well, it could be pulling or putting in.
Putting in.
I wouldn't think that the right side track bar is adjustable, so they wouldn't be doing anything there. So they could be doing something with the shock. I don't know. These cars have changed so much.
Yes.
But it's a fine chassis adjustment, whatever they're doing.
Well, Kenny, you're a 5-time winner here at Toledo Speedway, picking up the win for the first time back here in 1997. I shudder to think how many years ago that was because we're both getting older as we go here. But how have these cars changed since 1997? It's almost like they're a totally different automobile.
Well, they're probably closer to the Cup cars now than they were then. A lot of times then they were more of a short track Saturday night chassis with something that resembled a Cup car a little bit more for a body. The rules, like all the associations, have got so much tighter, which a lot of times people say they don't like the tighter rules, but as competitors we force the sanctioning bodies into tighter rules because when they're more laxed, we spend more money. We keep going in between. If this is legal and this isn't, we go in between there, and it's just not good for the sport. So even though none of us like the big, thicker rule book, it's better for the sport.
Looks like they finished up the work on the right rear there of Ty Gibbs in the number 18. Hopefully for Ty, they're going to make that car exactly what he's looking for here as we go to battle.
2 tire stops. 2
tire stops here in the ARCA Menards Series East, correct? You know, Kenny, before we had to kind of take a pause here. You were actually supposed to race here at Toledo Speedway in 2020 on the infield, the figure eight track here, but it wasn't just going to be in a race car. What were your plans here?
It was a bus figure eight. Yeah,
how did Drager talk you into that?
Oh no, it was I was going to be on my birthday, my 65th birthday. What a better way than to run a figure eight bus race. You know what? I mean, what could possibly go wrong there? But was looking forward to it, and we're going to try to make it back whenever our world or country gets into a little more normal, hopefully.
So don't talk to Ray Dunlap about what could go wrong in a school bus figure eight race, all right? There we are. Kenny, good to have you here. We certainly appreciate you joining us here at Toledo Speedway. I know this place kind of feels like a second home for you sometimes as often as you come here.
We've been here quite a few times over the years, had a lot of fun here.
Well, it certainly is good to have you. Good to have everybody at home watching us here on Track Pass here on NBC Sports Gold. Joining us for the Hearst Potato Chips 200 here at Toledo Speedway. I got my very first start in racing was right here selling programs when I was 10 years old. And it's great to come back and be on camera, be on mic, and talking to all race fans all across the country. And, we were talking about that a little bit. It doesn't seem like we tend to wander too far away from our roots, do we?
Well, you're talking about sitting behind your grandparents when they were scoring the races.
Right.
And, I remember our first little track I went to, Lake Hill Speedway, right outside of St. Louis. I didn't know anything about Daytona or Talladega because Lake Hill was the biggest track in the country as far as I was concerned. That's where you went on Sunday nights. Right,
and those guys who were there every week were, to me, they were my heroes. And I got to watch some pretty cool guys, including Bob Keselowski. Brad's dad was just, he was my absolute favorite. I remember standing in the line and getting his autograph twice, and I thought I was going to get yelled at for that second one.
Those good people.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights of the first 75 laps here. The Hearst Potato Chips 200. Green flag in the air, and on the break, there you see Sam Mayer jumping out front, but there you see Ty Gibbs going to use a pick there in lap traffic to slide to the inside. They ran side by side for a couple of laps there, but eventually Ty took over the top spot. There you see Brett Holmes battling to the inside of Taylor Gray. Taylor making his ARCA Menards Series East debut with us here today. Nick Sanchez. Nick was very aggressive in the first 75 laps. He's going to slide to the inside of Taylor to take over a spot down the back stretch. And there you see, look at this battle, folks. 3 wide with a lap car to the middle. Sam Mayer working his way to the inside of Ty Gibbs to take over the lead. A lead that he held as the field rolled down pit road here under the competition caution for the first time here today. Second caution of the day, the first caution for Mason Diaz. We didn't see Mason on camera there during those highlights, but he had the fastest car in practice, but unfortunately a mechanical problem sent him down pit road early end of the day for one of the fastest cars here today. Tough break for him, but we are lining up to go back racing here. Kenny, another 75 laps coming up, and like you said, you want to get positioned for that final 50-lap dash to the checkered. I don't think we're going to see Sam Mayer or Ty Gibbs kind of logging laps here in this segment, will we?
No, but it's altogether different situation, too, with 2 new right-side tires, and you have your old left. So that's gonna adjust what everybody's car feels like, the handling of it. So we'll have to see. One of the other cars might wind up being having a little better setup right now.
I think Giovanni Bramante is hoping his car's got the better setup because he kind of watched those 2, Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs, drive off to the distance there towards the end of that first 75 lap segment. There you see our race sponsor here today, Hearst Potato Chips. Certainly appreciate their sponsorship here today. Now we traditionally shower the victor with potato chips in Victory Lane. Kenny, what flavor would you want us to be throwing at you down there?
I think I go with the barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue.
I think I go with the barbecue.
Barbecue is good. I love them. Bobby Thompson on the hammer in the pace car. He's going to bring that down pit road. Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs will lead the field back to green. Giovanni Bramante, Chase Cabri back in row 2. Brett Holmes, Taylor Gray in row 3. Nick Sanchez, Parker Retzloff back in row 4. Ryan Repco and Justin Carroll back in row 5. Green flag is out, and on the break, Sam Mayer leading the charge down off into turns 1 and 2. You see Ty Gibbs going to hold on to that second spot. Giovanni Bramante and Chase Cabri battling side by side for third, as Cabri going to slide his way into line right in front of Brett Holmes there. Race that way down the front stretch. Kenny, one of the things that you have dealt with here in the past quite a bit is that sun going down the front stretch. It's still quite early in the day, but How is that sun? Is that sun going to be in these drivers' eyes as we see Gio Bramante looking to the inside of Ty Gibbs down the front stretch? Are these guys looking into the sun this part of the day?
Well, it's going to become a factor, but they're geared. Oh, this big.
There we go.
Yes.
Change for the lead. Ty Gibbs to the inside of Sam Mayer. He's going to try to bring Giovanni Bramante along with them. Mayer going to slide back into that second spot, but Ty Gibbs taking the lead. We've got a car sideways here on the front stretch. Max McLaughlin getting turned sideways, and that will bring out the third caution flag of the afternoon. And I don't know what happened to that car about lap 50. Max kind of dropped off the pace, and unfortunately some sort of handling issue there on the number 1 car, and Max McLaughlin getting turned sideways and bringing out caution flag number 3 here this afternoon.
The sun will become a factor here, but if you gear up your windshield and your helmet visor and stuff, you can work around it. By then, you ought to be able to remember where the turn is anyway.
We're talking about a handling issue now, Kenny. How ill handling are these cars with a flat left rear tire?
Terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
I figured that is the handling issue on the number 1 car. Apparently a little contact on the racetrack, cutting down the left rear there. There you see that crew trying to wedge the jack under so they can get that left rear changed and get Max McLaughlin back in action. Now, you know, when we had the break at the caution, everybody was able to come down pit road and not lose position or a lap. These laps count. Max McLaughlin,
he might have a shot here. They had to go to the back and jack it up underneath the rear end.
Put a new general tire on the left rear right there and get Max back in action.
Yeah, he should be fine.
That's going to give the free pass to Justin Carroll in the 91. Justin will rejoin the tail end of the lead lap here for the restart. So Ty Gibbs currently your leader. Sam Mayer scored in second. Giovanni Bramante, Chase Cabri, and Brett Holmes rounding out your top 5. Taylor Gray, Nick Sanchez, Ryan Repco, Parker Retzloff, and Justin Carroll rounding out the top 10 as we have 85 laps of the books, 15 laps from the halfway point here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200.
Just so much different feeling with the people in the grandstands. I've watched it on TV at some of the Cup races, but this is the first race I've been at, and wow.
It's a very different feeling. Very different feeling.
Because the fans here are always so energetic.
It's a pumped up crowd as we get the one to go signal here at the stripe. This is always one of those events here at Toledo Speedway that draws a packed house, and we certainly appreciate the health department here in Lucas County, the state of Ohio, allowing us to put the protocol in place that lets us go racing. Boy, we sure do wish we had some race fans in the stands here because they would be seeing a good one. This battle up front between Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer has been a thriller every time we go back racing. Let's see what Sam Mayer has for Ty Gibbs on this restart. Gibbs has been good on the short run here. Let's see what he's able to do on the restart as the pace car ready to head back down pit road. Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer up on the front row. Gio Bramante, Chase Cabri back in row number 2. We're just about ready to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. There you see it waving, and we are racing here at Toledo Speedway. Ty Gibbs on the brake. He's going to take over that top spot. Sam Mayer going to jump right down into that bottom groove as he looks to the inside, just a little bit down the back stretch there. Ty Gibbs not able to slam the door shut. Ty Gibbs going to lose the lead to Sam Mayer here down the front stretch. These two having their own little battle here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Ty going to use the momentum of the top side to draw about a car length ahead, but now Mayer not wanting to give it up, Kenny. He really wants to be out front here today, doesn't he?
Right. You know, Ty had him cleared there, and it was a little higher on the entrance to 3, and Ty's car is extremely handling good for him to be able to hang on the outside and get back up to that position.
And you talked about what those cars would do with those fresh right side general tires. Looks like the 74 car coming to life here a little bit after the stop as well. Gio Bramante had dropped about a straightaway back after, you know, as we were getting to that 75 lap point. He's right there with Sam Mayer as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Mayer getting a little loose there off of turn 4 that time around. And And there's a good battle for the 4th position. Brett Holmes looking to the inside of Chase Cabri. Ooh, Holmes getting a little loose there off of turn 2. He's going to give up a little bit of ground right there. And you know, Kenny, I thought I saw it right there again. That smoke. See if we see it right there. No, we're going to change the camera shot there a little bit, but I thought I saw that smoke out of the 4 car a little bit. Maybe it's just an issue once we go back green flag racing, but that's got to be concerning to that race team down on pit road, seeing that smoke off the 4 car.
Well, it might be a deal where they're in the infield not seeing it. It doesn't bother them at all.
You don't see it, it's not a problem. Holmes going to shove him up the racetrack just a little bit there. Move Brett Holmes to 4th. Chase Cabri back to 5th. Let's see if Holmes is able to reel in those top 3. He's got some clear racetrack in front of him now. There you see Gio Bramante running in that 3rd position. I had a chance to talk to Gio earlier in the week. He's been keeping himself busy working for his father's landscaping company, planting trees, driving some bulldozers. I don't know that that's something that I would necessarily be qualified for, but Giovanni staying very active during the layoff break as he tries to find a way around Sam Mayer to take over that 2nd position.
Saw smoke off the 74 and the 4. I cannot believe I don't know what it is.
Working to the outside of Farmer Bob Pulaski as they work their way into turns 1 and 2. About a car length between everybody up there in the top 3. Ty Gibbs holding on to the lead. Sam Mayer in 2nd. Giovanni Bramante sitting back in the 3rd position. And just as I guessed he was going to do, Brett Holmes starting to reel in those top 3 drivers. So you'll see Holmes sneaking into the back of that camera shot there as we make our way off into turns 3 and 4.
Brett would have more laps around this facility than any other drivers in front of him.
Way back when he was just 14 years of age, Ty Gibbs came up here and did a test on a Thursday afternoon and ran a couple of 100 laps. So he knows his way around this racetrack, but Brett Holmes certainly does have a lot of experience. He's been racing full-time in the ARCA Menards series with us since 2015, so he's got 4 races worth of experience here as he tries to chase down the top 3. There you see the Munford, Alabama native. And the number 23 automobile trying to race his way off of turn 4 and track down the top 3. Giovanni Bramante driving for Visconti Motorsports. They've got a couple of wins here in the East Series with Brandon McReynolds behind the wheel. Team owner John and Marie Visconti, as we started with the layoff and the quarantine situation, they have a sponsor that donated a lot of personal protection equipment back up to the firefighters and the emergency responders up in their neck of the woods up Long Island, New York. So very active in trying to keep everybody safe. There you see a battle towards the back of the top 10. Ryan Repco in the number 20 car battling with Justin Carroll in the 91. And you know, Kenny, this can't be the day that Venerini Motorsports was looking for. Unfortunately, problems with the 25 car, and Ryan Repco in the number 20 automobile running 9th. That's not what we expect out of Venerini Motorsports.
Now, Venerini Motorsports has been the dominant team in the ARCA series for the last several years. Just a phenomenal effort they put forward, and their results show. But you know what? They'll be back.
They will.
They will
undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. There you see Ryan Repco in the number 20 McLean Toyota. Ryan picked up a win in the late model stock car portion of the Throwback 276 down at Hickory Motor Speedway last fall. How cool is that, seeing all those old paint schemes on these modern day race cars?
It's pretty neat. You know, the Darlington Speedway started that however many years ago, 10 years ago or something. And it's caught on to a lot of different facilities do that. And just everybody wants to remember the way things were. I kind of like the way things are now. I think our racing's better now than it's ever been.
I tend to agree with you. I like it the way it is now. I got a couple of old favorite paint schemes from back in the day, too, that I like to see every now and then. Don't forget, when the Sioux Chief Showdown makes its way to Salem Speedway later on in the season, that's the annual throwback race here in the ARCA Menards series. There you see a battle between a couple of teammates. Nick Sanchez finally working his way past Chase Cabri to move up into the top 5. Nick's been patiently aggressive towards the last half of that opening segment, finally working his way up into the top 5. Let's see if he's able to track down the top 4 as they kind of about a 3-car length gap between each of those drivers up at the top 4, but about a half a straightaway between Brett Holmes in 4th and Nick Sanchez there in 5th, working his way off of turn 4 down the front stretch.
We got just a little bit of gap between 4th and 5th, and there, I mean, the top 4 are right together, and then 5th, 6th, 7th are basically right together.
You see that gap between the top 4 and Nick Sanchez there in 5th. Also a driver that's starting to make a little noise there. There you see him at the back of that shot. Parker Retzloff in the number 42 car. There you see Parker trying to track down Chase Cabri. Parker picked up a couple of iRacing wins, big iRacing wins early on in our quarantine break. See if he's able to translate that into some real-world success here as he tries to track down Chase Cabri. So we see a battle for the 3rd position up towards the front. Brett Holmes looking to the inside of Giovanni Bramante. Give Brett Holmes that 3rd position. Brett, man, that race car looked like it's responding to whatever changes Shane Huffman and crew made to it under that competition caution break, Kenny.
It's just, it has went forward the whole race so far. Just a little bit at a time, but it has just continued to go forward. A lot of experience in that pit area with Shane Hoffman there.
Shane's a former driver himself, drove for Junior Motorsports before transitioning into full-time crew chief duties, and has really taken Brett Holmes and elevated the performance level of that team. Just how important is it when you have that one missing piece and then you bring that guy in? It really does tend to elevate that whole operation, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. And you know, sometimes that guy, that man that they bring in isn't always the crew chief. Sometimes it could be the 2nd or 3rd guy, but it just makes everything click. But Shane has so much knowledge that bringing him in was huge.
There you see a great battle for position between Chase Cabri and Parker Retzloff. That is a battle for 6th and 7th on the racetrack as they work to the outside of Bob Pulaski there through turns 1 and 2. That's going to let Cabri get a little bit of breathing room right there, with Retzloff able to close right back in as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. So that's the one thing that I think these drivers are coming to expect here as we are just past the halfway point here of the Hearst Potato Chips 200. We do have a couple of cars that are not up to full speed here tonight, and every 8 or 10 laps are going to close in on some of that slower traffic. Do you kind of have to start to think about that and plan when you're going to start to make those moves, knowing that you're going to have lap cars down to the inside and shutting that lane off?
Oh, most definitely. You know, if you're looking to keep someone behind you or to get around somebody, and you know that in 2 more laps you think you're going to catch a lap car or 2, that's like a tool. That's something you file away, and you know it's there, and you try to anticipate before they can figure out what you're going to do, what you might have an opportunity to do to get around them.
You see Parker Retzloff in the number 42 car. Chad Finley, a part owner of that automobile, as they work their way down the backstretch. There's Max McLaughlin in the number 1. Tough day for Max and the Hattori Racing Enterprises Toyota. His father, Mike McLaughlin, coming with him each and every week. Mike Ricci, the team manager on that one. You've had a little experience with Mike Ricci.
Yeah, I got to drive for Mike one time. You know, raced against him a lot of times. Definitely a class act, heck of a good crew chief. And father, Mike, oh my gosh, what a good racer he was.
Magic shoes.
Magic shoes, yes he is.
Let's take a look at the Richmond Water Heaters halfway reports here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Ty Gibbs. It's been a Ty Gibbs and Sam Mayer battle up at the front, that is for sure. We had a couple of cautions in the first half of this race. One of those was for Max McLaughlin, unfortunately. Also had a caution brought out by the number 25 car, Mason Diaz, coming to a stop. Other than that, it's been clean and green, and it has been the Sam Mayer Ty Gibbs show up at the front of this one. There you see Sam Mayer trying to track down Ty as they run 1 and 2 here as we close in on the final 75 laps here of the Hearst Potato Chips 200. 125 laps in the books. There you see that battle again for 6th and 7th. Parker Retzloff still trying to work his way past Chase Cabri. They battle for that 6th position. Retzloff looking to the inside there. Kenny didn't mean to cut you off. Got a good run off at turns 1 and 2, but Cabri able to use that outside groove here.
Yeah, they're racing hard back there. You know, it just makes so much difference when you do catch, where you catch that lap car. You know, if you catch them going down straightaway, or if you catch them at the exit of the turn, it really hurts your lap time.
So one of the things, if you're watching at home, you do notice that each end of this racetrack visually looks different. There we see turns 3 and 4. We got grass down to the inside. We're going to race our way down to the turns 1 and 2 end. There you see we've got rumble strips, we've got a wall, we've got pit road. Do these different ends of the racetrack drive as different as they look, Kenny?
You know, I hate to admit this, but I'm really the wrong person to ask for this, because to me, you know, when you sit in one of these cars, you only got a steering wheel and a couple pedals to do anything.
Right.
You know, you just no one's ever given me an IQ test before they've hired me. You just go around there as fast as you can, but Sam has run down our leader.
Sam's starting to go as fast as he can. That car, it's that 50 lap point, Kenny. That car's starting to come to life here. He has reeled in Ty Gibbs, now right on the back bumper. There you see that lap traffic coming into play. He's going to have to use that, take that into account as he races his way off into turns 1 and 2. Sam Mayer now trying to find his way past Ty Gibbs, as we have 131 laps in the book, 69 to go here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Sam Mayer working that back bumper of Ty Gibbs off of turn 4.
Ty's car wasn't staying all the way on the bottom down there in 3 and 4, and that would definitely hurt you down there.
Those left side tires with 132 laps on them now may start to come into play as these guys trying to keep that car down on the bottom here. As Ty has some breathing room, 1 car length in hand over Sam Mayer as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. They've opened up about a straightaway, a little bit more than a full straightaway lead over Brett Holmes back in that 3rd spot. There you see Taylor Gray looking to the inside of Parker Retzloff. That is a battle for the 7th position. So Parker losing a little bit of ground to Chase Cabri there. And Taylor Gray now going to work to the inside. Solid debut for Taylor Gray in that 17 automobile for DGR Crosley Racing. He was able to track down Chase Cabri in a hurry right there as we move back to the front of the field. There you see Sam Mayer now working that back bumper again. Looking to the outside, looking to the inside. Kenny, and you really do want to try to find your way to the bottom side of the racetrack here at Toledo.
Right, but what I've seen Ty do here is he's up a little bit in the center, and then he still gets that left side tires all the way down on the yellow line at the exit of the turn. So I think maybe, especially up in 3 and 4, you know, he's done some experimenting and found something that he thought was better for him. He's up a little bit, and then he's all the way back down.
And that battle for position just outside the top 5 continuing to brew between Chase Cabri and Taylor Gray. Taylor right there on the back bumper as they work their way off of turn 4. And Cabri drifting up the racetrack just a little bit. Let's see if Taylor is able to stuff the nose down the backstretch. No, Cabri going to use the momentum there down the backside of the racetrack. He's going to hold on to the 6th position, but again, this battle still, yeah, you see Taylor really working the steering wheel there, Kenny, as they work their way off of turn 4.
He just plain old loose getting off turn.
Loose is fast though, right?
Well, to a point.
To a point.
To a point. The fine line there where it crosses over.
Inches apart there off of turn 4. There we see Taylor Gray trying to look to the inside as they work their way off into turns 1 and 2. Little smoke there off the 17, but he's going to stick it to the inside through turns 1 and 2. But again, Cabri able to use that top side and hold on to that position. Good battle for position. Taylor not giving up at all. He's again going to dip to the inside down the front stretch, trying to stuff that thing down to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Taylor Gray with a good drive down the inside. He's going to be able to keep that machine to the inside and poke the nose ahead through their through turns 3 and 4. Give that position to Taylor Gray as he's going to take over the 6th position, moving Chase Cabri back to 7.
What loose does for you, it lets your car rotate and gets your front end up underneath them if you can on the exit of the turn.
There you see Parker Retzloff trying to close in on Chase Cabri there and take over that 7th position. Still no change up at the front of the field as Ty Gibbs continuing to hold on to the lead, but again, only about a couple of feet off of the front nose of Sam Mayer as they work their way down the backstretch. Mayer, that car again, it's about a 50 to 75 lap run car, but that's the problem, Kenny. We're closing in on that second competition caution, which means we're only going to have a 50 lap run. Is there something they can do to get this car to come in at lap 35 instead of lap 50?
Well, that's what they've got. That's what they're working on now or thinking about. But the 20 car is going to make this very interesting when we coming up on. They might not get there 4 laps or so. There we go.
There you see Sam Mayer again looking to the inside of Ty Gibbs. Battle for the lead off into turns 3 and 4. Mayer going to stop it to the inside, and again, lap traffic going to come into play. They're going to work to the outside. Bob gives him room, but there is the 20 car, Ryan Repco. Ty Gibbs going to hold on to that top spot, but Repco still in the mix there as the battle for the lead continuing to brew as we come to complete lap 148. Repco going to move to the outside of the racetrack, give the leaders plenty of room as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Mayer going to fall back and try again. Lock, load, and reload as that's battle for the lead. Lap 149 now in the books. We're closing in on that second competition caution.
Those, when you asked me for a difference between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, the rumble strips at the exit down at the bottom of 3 and 4 are very inviting to try to get down there and make some room, but they really break the traction.
Let's see if it breaks traction for Sam Mayer there again to the inside of Ty Gibbs. They're going to swap a little paint off into turns 3 and 4. Gibbs with the momentum to the top side of the racetrack, but Sam Mayer with the preferred group. Caution flag is out. Ty Gibbs will hold on to the lead. He will lead the field down onto pit road for this competition caution. But Kenny, you thought that they were battling for lap 200 instead of lap 150.
No, they were just battling to be in front. I mean, I'm just so impressed with our whole next generation of drivers and how much car control they have.
Unbelievable. Flat tire on the number 4 car for Chase Cabri, so this caution flag could not have come out at a better time for our, let's see, Chase was back in the 7th position, but a very well-timed caution flag indeed for Chase Cabri. There you see.
But will he,
Ty Gibbs,
will he go a lap down
that's the
until
question.
they come around and hit our pit road?
We're going to have to find out once we come back from break here. But there you see Chase Cabri working his way down pit road with a flat right front tire. If you're going to have it happen, might as well have it happen under caution flag, but that is not what the Rev Racing team wanted to see here as we go under the second competition caution flag of the day here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Ty Gibbs leading, Sam Mayer in second. Brett Holmes, Giovanni Bramante, and Nick Sanchez rounding out your top 5. We're going to step away for a quick break. You're watching the Hearst Potato Chips 200 here on NBCSN.
If they took the yellow and then they went around, I got to believe he went a lap down.
I got to believe he went a lap down too. There you see the Joe Gibbs Racing crew going to work on leader Ty Gibbs's number 18 Toyota. And you know, Kenny, we had 6 tires in the pits. It was a 10-tire race, so we had 4 on the car, 6 tires in the pits. They chose to go with 2 tires first, unsurprisingly. They're going to go with 4 here on the second stop, but I bet you every one of these drivers was barking at their crew chief for 4 new tires.
Right, and you know that's something that ARCA does for cost control. It would be real easy to put 4 tires on every time you came in the pits, but they make it 6, so one of the times you only got 2, and a lot of times some guys will put 2 on later, and it works. This probably wasn't the strategy for this race. We just got confirmation 4 car did go a lap down.
Tough break for Chase Cabri, but kind of could have been a good break too, because if we were still under green, he would have lost way more than that 1 lap.
Now wait a minute, will he be the first car a lap down?
So the caution flag had already come out, so someone else was going to get the free pass. So he's still going to be trapped 1 lap down when we go back racing.
This is very complicated.
I know, way too complicated for us guys. That's for sure.
Very complicated.
Good thing we don't have to make these calls, right? In any case, there you see Chase Cabri, the Rev Racing team, going to work on that number 4 automobile. Chase picked up a couple of wins last year, and still looking for win number 1 here as we are in the second race of the 2020 ARCA Menards Series East season. We kind of recapped things a little bit ago. Sam Mayer picked up the win in the season opener down at New Smyrna Speedway, then went out and backed it up with a win out on the West Coast. Of course, team owner Maury Gallagher is a Las Vegas native, so it's no surprise that Sam might go out there and steal that trophy out at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As a matter of fact, we're talking about Sam, and how confident must Marty Lindley and that team be to complete their 5-minute pit stop in about 2 minutes?
Well, and it's just like it's Cup races. Some of the guys used to want to be the first car out in practice, and I mean, it just shows everybody you're ready.
Right,
we're ready.
You see Ty Gibbs in the number 18, about ready to rejoin the rest of the field out on the racetrack here. 152 laps in the books, 48 to go. And you know, Kenny, we've been talking about it throughout the course of those first 2 segments of the race. The big question is the 21 car going to be a 50-lap car or a 75-lap car here once we go back racing?
Well, if he's a 75-lap car, he's going to run second.
Right. So that's the question.
Yeah. We'll see.
There you see the all-weather Armor sponsorship there on the number 21 car. They announced that deal earlier in the week. Armor Guard coming on board, so good to have them part of the ARCA Menards Series with GMS Racing. And Sam Mayer, the defending champion of the East Series. You know, he announced plans to chase after the championship here, but this break, they don't quite know what they're going to be doing. They're going to be running some truck races. They're going to be running some ARCA races. They're going to be running some East races. So Sam's schedule kind of a little bit up in the air. You're kind of used to that. You don't always know where you're going week to week.
We all announced plans last November, December, and January, and February, and then our country changed. And hopefully it looks like we're getting back to a little bit of normalcy, but we'll just have to see.
And normalcy. Who came up with that word? Harry Truman, I think, came
know.
up with that one. He's a Missouri guy.
Where did I come up with that word? Well, where did I pull that out of?
I don't know. That's a good one, though. Here you see Ty Gibbs working his way back up to the front of the field. He's going to restart alongside Sam Mayer here. See Brett Holmes now making his way off pit road. He's going to restart third. Giovanni Bramante and Nick Sanchez rounding out the top 5 for the restart. Taylor Gray, Parker Retzloff, Ryan Repco, Chase Cabri, and Justin Carroll are your top 10. And it looks like, Kenny, that the top 8 cars, Ryan Repco is going to get the free pass. He already has picking up the free pass. So we will have 8 cars on the lead lap for the final 48 laps of this one, as the Dodge Charger pace car now starts to lead the field around.
Now, any kind of yellow will put Chase back on the lead lap, as long as he maintains that position.
So he's kind of hoping for one more yellow flag. I have a feeling that Sam Mayer's hoping we go green the rest of the way, because that car does tend to take some green flag laps to come in. You know, we talked about it after qualifying. That front group of cars in qualifying was all very evenly matched, about 1/10 of a second between the top 5, 1/4 of a second between the top 10. And the race has kind of played out the same way. Those cars have been pretty closely bunched and very evenly matched throughout the first 153 laps here.
Most definitely. And probably even closer time-wise than they were in qualifying, because with the extended greens, they didn't get all that far ahead.
Right.
So,
you know, we certainly do have to thank race sponsor Hearst Potato Chips for what they are doing here. You're going to see the shot of the grandstands here as we get the one-to-go signal from the flag stand. Unfortunately, no fans in the grandstands due to the current health situation. But thankfully for the Hearst Potato Chips folks, they have stepped up and said, you know what, we want to go racing. We want to give this to everybody. We know that we can stream it live on Track Pass. We'll have the race on NBCSN later on in the week, and we certainly appreciate their support.
well, just like the rules have kept some people out of the grandstands, it's also kept some cars out of the races because of sponsorship that fell through because of no people in the grandstands.
Right, but we certainly look forward to getting fans back here as soon as we can. We're going to get the green flag back in the air here in just a matter of moments as the pace car now heads back down onto pit road. Ty Gibbs, Sam Mayer up on row number 1. Brett Holmes and Giovanni Bramante back in row number 2. Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray back in row 3. Green flag is back in the air, and Ty Gibbs with a great jump on the restart. He's going to jump out to the lead. Sam Mayer going to slot back into that second spot as he looks to the inside now down the backstretch. Sam Mayer looking to take over the top spot through turns 3 and 4. Side by side off of turn 4. Who's going to have the advantage here at the stripe? Give it to Sam Mayer by a matter of inches, but Ty Gibbs going to drive it in hard down into turns 1 and 2. Again, side by side, some contact off of turn 2. That's going to give Ty Gibbs the advantage, but boy, Sam Mayer aggressive through turns 3 and 4 as he tries to find his way past. And where did Brett Holmes come from? Holmes all over the back bumper of Sam Mayer as they work their way through turns 1 and 2.
Sam got loose at the exit of turn 2, and Brett shot to the outside thinking he might have a shot to fill that hole up, but then the 74 was looking on the inside, which he still is.
Giovanni Bramante trying to work that steering wheel and take over that third spot as we see Ryan Repco do battle with Parker Retzloff, Nick Sanchez. Everybody at the back half of the top 5 now starting to swap positions here as the intensity level starting to go up big time here as we close in on the finish of the Hearst Potato Chips 200.
You know, I drove for a gentleman when I first started named Bud Hoppy, and he told me the same thing he must have told Sam. He says, if you can't pass them before they really get going fast, how are you going to pass them later? So he jumped right on Gibbs that first lap.
Sometimes it is easier to get him on that first lap, and that's exactly what he was going to need to have happen because Ty Gibbs is opening up a 3-car length advantage here as we see a great battle for position. Ryan Repco coming to life here after that competition caution break. He is to the inside of Taylor Gray as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Repco going to drift up the racetrack a little bit and try to shove Taylor Gray out of that groove as they continue to battle for position. This is a battle for 5th. Give the 5th spot to Ryan Repco. He was a lap down not that long ago, Kenny. That 20 car coming to life here in the final 50 of the Hearst Potato Chips 200.
I told you Venturini team would be back. I just didn't know when they would come back pretty quick.
A little sooner than we might have anticipated there. Let's see if Repco is able to reel in those top 4 cars. Where he really was looking for were those 4 fresh General tires. That car has really come to life here after the restart here with 48 laps to go. The top 4 cars, nose to tail. They've got about a straightaway gap over this battle for position. Taylor Gray, Parker Retzloff, Nick Sanchez. These cars knocking fenders. There you see Retzloff trying to work to the inside of Taylor Gray. We talked about Ryan Repco coming to life after the restart. Taylor Gray going the opposite direction as we see Chase Cabri getting sideways over in turns 3 and 4. Cabri going to come to a stop in the grass, bringing out the caution flag for the 5th time here today.
I saw that whole thing. That was a classic example of the 91 car. Took the air off the spoiler and then hit him.
And then hit him, huh? So how do you explain that one after the race? Just that simple?
Oh, you just walk up there and say, hey, buddy.
You've had a few of those conversations.
I've been on both ends of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, which side's more fun?
It's more fun if you got to leave victory lane and then go to apologize.
That's it. That's it. Really sorry, buddy. Really sorry. Yeah. Well, no damage to the number 4 car, so that's the upside to that situation for Chase Cabri. The downside of it, Kenny, was he was looking for a caution flag to get that free pass, but you don't get the free pass if you are the caution flag.
Yeah, and now the other downside for the 91 is he's going to be starting right behind him.
Oh, yeah, you don't like that guy being a little aggravated with you when he's going to start right off your back bumper, do you?
No.
Let's see if we got a replay of that action over there in turn 4. You see the 91 car going off into turns 3 and 4, and right there it looks like he got the air off the spoiler.
Yeah,
Kenny,
and immediately hit him.
There you see just a little slide through the grass there. Not a lot of damage on that number 4 car for Chase Cabri. He is going to bring that machine down pit road, get that checked out real quick before he rejoins the tail of the field. We also see Taylor Gray coming down pit road in the 17 car, and I was just saying the 20 car had really come to life after that restart, but the 17 car was going the opposite direction, so they're going to make looks like they got a wrench there, and we can't see what's going on because the pit box is in the way, but it's apparently a chassis adjustment in the works there for Taylor Gray, trying to get that car going the other direction once we go back green flag racing.
And another side-by-side restart, which patience gets less and less as we get down here with 32 laps to go. So it'll be very exciting.
One to go flag, one to go signal here at the flag stand. Charlie Krall alongside Kenny Schrader. 30 laps to go here in this one. Kenny, what are you thinking as a driver?
It's time to go.
No more playing around, right?
No, you can't be jacking around now. You have to figure you're one of the top 5 cars, especially top 4. What do I have to do to maximize this deal for me and get it done right now? It'd be extremely hard for the 21 just to drive around the outside of the 18, or the 18 to drive around him later in the race. You need to be there now and then be protecting that bottom the rest of the race.
And you've got Brett Holmes and Giovanni Bramante just waiting for those top 2 to make a mistake as we hit the restart zone here. There you see Ty Gibbs trying to sneak out a little bit of an advantage. Green flag is in the air. We are back underway, and a much better restart that time for Sam Mayer. He's going to try to dip to the inside and look to the inside of Ty Gibbs, but Gibbs with a great run off of turn 2 as Giovanni Bramante. He's going to take that 3rd spot from Brett Holmes. Let's see if Bramante has anything for the top 2 as we come across the stripe to complete lap 170. 30 to go here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Top 5 cars nose to tail down the backstretch. What that caution flag did, Kenny, is it allowed Ryan Repco to close that gap. He is now right there with the top 4. Let's see if Repco has anything as we've got 29 laps to go here in Toledo.
The knowledge and our car setup and the equipment, everyone has so much more access to it. And in any form of racing right now, and it's just getting the races harder and harder and harder, man. It's just, they run so close.
And you're talking kids that are 15, 16, 17 years of age as we see Parker Retzloff looking to the inside of Nick Sanchez. He's going to take over. That is a battle for the 6th position. So move Parker Retzloff to 6th, Nick Sanchez back to 7th. There you see a good battle for the 3rd position. Brett Holmes looking to the inside of Gio Bramante as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Move Brett Holmes back up into 3rd. That intensity level, Kenny, it is every lap. That intensity level just gets a little bit more intense as now you see Repco. Ryan Repco trying to find some racing room to the inside of Gio Bramante as they work their way off into turns 3 and 4. And Repco going to give him the boot, and around goes Giovanni Bramante as he's going to back that number 74 car into the outside wall. That will put us under the caution flag for the 6th time here today.
Yeah, big difference. Big difference between gently bumping somebody and where you gently bump them. When you bump them on the exit, they don't have a lot of options.
And that is a tough break for Giovanni Bramante. He had been in the top 4 all race long, and it has gone sideways here with 25 laps to go here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. A lot of damage to the left rear corner of the number 74 Bramante Landscape and Design Chevrolet. Not the way he expected his afternoon to come to an end here at Toledo Speedway today.
Well, yellows breed yellows, they tell me.
They do. They do. There you see Brett Holmes in the 23 car. Brett had just worked his way past Giovanni Bramante to take over that third spot. Gio was racing there with Ryan Repco, trying to hold on to fourth. Repco, that car has really started to come to life here. Let's take a look at what happened over there in turns 3 and 4. Kenny, looks like Gio has the line there, but the 20 car got a little...
Yeah, just run into him. You can word it however you want. But he ran
I think you worded it. I think you got it.
Yeah.
Got into the back of the 74 car there as they worked their way through turns 3 and 4. And as you said, you know, the intensity level does tend to intensify as we close in on the finish of these races. And there you see Gio Bramante climbing out of the number 74 car. Looks like he's going to be okay, but he's going to climb in the back of the safety truck there. And quick visit with the ARCA safety team as he makes his way back down to the infield here today. And, you know, there you see Ryan Repco in the 20 car for Venerini Motorsports. And, you know, Kenny, we were just talking about that conversation, and I think these two drivers probably going to have that conversation here after this one today.
Yeah, and they'll talk about it longer and louder than the other two because it was more serious.
Right.
Yeah. But here we are with 20 car, 4th place right now. Was a lap down.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
And that is the car that won this race last year with Chandler Smith behind the wheel when it was part of the ARCA Menards Series Tour.
I got to drive for Venturini Motorsports one time. It was awesome. Drive for Big Bill.
Where'd you drive for him at?
DuQuoin, I think.
Slinging some dirt, huh?
Yeah, we didn't. We run 3rd or 4th. Qualified decent. We ran 3rd or 4th.
So when I first started coming to ARCA races back when I was a much younger boy, Bill Venerini had the all-girl, all-female pit crew.
The Permatex car.
Permatex car, that's right.
Oh, they've been a leader in the ARCA series and just been a huge supporter.
Been here since 1982 in one form or fashion. That's a good run. 38 years.
It was very good to see them up on the stage again last year as the championship team.
There you see Ty Gibbs holding on to the top spot here as the laps continue to tick off under caution for the 6th time here today in the Hers Potato Chips 200. 21 laps now remain as we circulate behind the pace car. Ty Gibbs leading, Sam Mayer in 2nd, Brett Holmes, there you see him in 3rd. Ryan Repco and Parker Retzloff now in that number 42 car, rounding out our top 5. Let's take another look at this one, Kenny. And I don't know if the 74 car gets a little loose right there through the center of turns 3 and 4, but in any case, that 20 car really closed that gap and made some pretty significant contact there and sent Gio around. And that is a hard bang off the outside wall here at Toledo.
You know, the insurance company always tells you you're responsible for the front of your car. You run into him.
I've tried to talk my way out of that one a couple of times, and there's no talking your way out of it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a pretty helpless feeling after you've already lost control and you know you're going for a ride, though, doesn't it?
Well, you also know that point of the racetrack, how the ending is going to be. There's going to be impact.
It's very predictable. We've seen the end of this story before.
Yeah.
In any case, a tough break for the Visconti Motorsports team. We talked about them just a little bit ago. Team owners, John and Marie Visconti, really stepping up for the first responders back in their hometown up in the Long Island, New York area, and giving them some personal protection equipment. And there we see our friends at Hers Foods, Hers Potato Chips, our sponsor here today, the crisp and tasty. I had the chance to go out to all the local Menards stores yesterday and distribute some potato chips to all of the race fans who couldn't be here with us today. And I think I gave away a couple hundred bags, and I have a feeling I might have eaten almost as many.
I bet a whole bunch of them got opened right there and started
right there.
Oh yeah,
right there. I did a bunch of the opening.
Had a lot of their chips. They're extremely good. I love the different flavors.
That's right. My favorite is the I'm a cheese curl guy. The pepperoni pizza cheese curl is my absolute favorite. You give me a big bag of those, and I'll be gone in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. So it looks like we're going to get the 1-to-go signal here at the stripe. That will give us 18 laps of racing. Kenny, I have a feeling it's not over. These drivers up at the front, they're going to get aggressive.
Yeah, you know, we might get one more yellow, and all the hits might be easy enough that we don't get one more yellow. So it's hard to say.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out here pretty darn quick. 181 laps in the books. We will get the green flag at lap 182. That'll give us 18 laps to go. 18 is the number of the car, driven by our leader, Ty Gibbs. Sam Mayer going to restart alongside on row number 1. Brett Holmes, Ryan Repco back in row 2. Nick Sanchez and Parker Retzloff back in row 3. Taylor Gray and Justin Carroll back in row number 4. Closing in on that restart zone. Green flag back in the air and on the brake. Let's see who comes out with the advantage down into turns 1 and 2. Oh, look at Brett Holmes trying to stick the nose of the 23 car down to the inside of Sam Mayer as they work their way down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Brett Holmes still trying to keep that car down underneath Sam Mayer as they fight their way off into turns 1 and 2. Can Brett Holmes work his way up into the top 2? Holmes again looking for some racing room down the backstretch, and Sam Mayer now going to claim that second spot, but that has allowed Ty Gibbs to race his way. 5-car length advantage as they work their way down the front stretch. 16 laps to go. Look at Parker Retzloff working to the inside of Ryan Repco with a little nudge there through turns 1 and 2. Retzloff to the inside. Battle side by side for 4th position. Retzloff to the inside. Ryan Repco to the outside. Repco to take that 20 car from a lap down to a top 5 finish here this afternoon in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. But right now he has got his hands full with Parker Retzloff, who does not want to give up that spot. Sand quickly dropping through the hourglass here of the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Battle raging for that 4th position. Parker Retzloff to the inside. Ryan Repco to the outside. Neither driver wanting to give an inch. As we come to 13 laps to go. Wow, contact there. Ryan Repco bouncing off the outside wall. He is going to drive it hard into the turn 1 foam barrier. Caution flag out for the 7th time here today. And Kenny looked like he got just enough out of the groove to brush that outside wall. Flat right front tire. He didn't have anywhere to go, and he piled headlong into those foam barriers down in turn 1. Tough way to end the day for Ryan Repco.
He bounced off the wall pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty good hit off the wall, turn 4, and then a good hit down there. The styrofoam blocks obviously helped cushion that a tremendous amount, but you know, you're a lap down, you're 4th, and you're in the fence. It's just, that's quite
an elevator ride.
It's an elevator
ride for Ryan Repco here at Toledo Speedway this afternoon. Let's take a look at the replay. There you see, just drifted up onto the groove a little bit off of turn 4, made some significant contact down the front stretch, and that flat right front tire didn't allow him to turn at all once he got down into turn number 1. And Kenny, those styrofoam barriers have saved a lot of race cars over the years. That could have been way worse had those blocks not been there. Let's take a look at this vantage point from turns 3 and 4. Right up the racetrack, and boom, there you see Ryan Repco. And those blocks are not light.
No, but they do serve a tremendous amount of protection.
That's the same type of foam that they have in the safer barrier, which is lined with the steel part, the steel and foam energy reduction barrier, but those barriers doing their job here. That could have been a lot worse for Ryan Repco. We're going to go under the red flag here, folks, as we remove the number 20 car. There you see Ryan climbing out of that machine. And talk about the emotions that this young man has had. You said it, Kenny. He went from being a lap down to racing his way up into the top 5, and now ending his day alongside the outside retaining wall. What an elevator of emotions for this young man here today.
Yeah, I mean, it'll wear on you. I know it'll wear on you when you're 35 years old. I have no idea what it's like when you're that age,
right?
You know, but you know, it's our sport. Highs and lows. You never know. That's why you appreciate it so much, and it's so special when you do.
Let's take another look from the front stretch camera here as we see him just drift a little bit out of that groove and wasn't able to get this. You saw him fighting that steering wheel. He was trying.
He got loose first.
Yeah, he was trying to catch up with the steering, and wow, very significant contact with those blocks down in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And that's got to be tough. I mean, you remember your early days as, you know, you were fighting for every opportunity you have, and there you see that's what did that right front tire in right there. But you know, you're fighting for every opportunity you have, and you don't know when that next opportunity is going to come. And Ryan doesn't have a full schedule, and he really wants to come out here and make his mark. But yeah, that's got to be tough when you don't know when your next chance is going to be.
Especially there when you're really showcasing what you can do when you do come from a lap down to back in the hunt, and then to wind up like that.
So I got a correction. It wasn't Harry Truman who came up with normalcy. It was Warren G. Harding. So
okay, I just want to know.
It's a very familiar word, though.
It is a word.
It is a word. It is a word. And I can't wait to get back to normalcy. This feels like normal. We just need to get some race fans here.
To use a word like that isn't normal for me.
It is not, Kenny. I've listened to you quite a bit. That is not normal for Kenny Schrader. So while we are under a break here, let's first of all thank you for joining us here at Toledo Speedway today. And I know you've got a very busy schedule coming up, not only with your motorcycle that you rode up here, but you've got a racetrack that you run. You got the Federated Auto Parts Modified that you run. Where can race fans see you in action coming up here in the next couple of weeks?
Well, we're motorcycling our way over to 141 Speedway in Maribel, Wisconsin. There's an open test next Tuesday, and they race Wednesday and Thursday. It's a $10,000 to win IMCA modified show, a little quarter-mile dirt. Won't be a lot of cars, maybe 70.
That's not a lot for a modified show,
and,
right?
So it's fantastic little race. We went 3 years ago, ran fourth, ran real good. Couldn't go last 2 years ago because I had to run the ARCA race at Gateway. And then last year, all I did was turn over. So it's looking forward to see what happens this year.
Wait, when you say turnover, that's
it's pretty big.
the wheels where the roof should be, right?
Yeah, like 3 times. Yeah, it was
not good.
No, it wasn't a good night.
Not good.
The car was hurt pretty good.
Let's take another look, real-time look at what happened. And folks, I want you to just think about how quickly this happens, Kenny. And this does not take a long time to play out. Here you see Ryan drifting up out of the groove there. He's got a couple of seconds to think about what's going to happen here, but this is a big-time hit here, folks. Ryan Repco, and like I said, those blocks weigh a couple 100 pounds each, and he threw them around like a toy.
Yeah.
When
you head down in the turn and the steering wheel doesn't make anything work because the right front tire is soft, or the left front, the right front in this case, it's just a terrible feeling.
And we had made a mention earlier in the show about didn't seem like it was going to be Venerini Motorsports Day. It looked like it before this happened.
We were right.
We were right. But it looked right before this happened that they had a shot to make something out of this. But this is abnormal for Venerini Motorsports. This is one of the premier teams in this form of racing, and they'll bounce back pretty quickly from this.
Extremely quick. Now, this is a wreck. This can happen to anybody, any team. The other one, we're assuming it was obviously something mechanically failed, and that doesn't happen to them a lot.
There you see the ARCA Menards Series East safety crew repositioning those blocks down in turn 1. And if we could get that camera shot down in turn 1 to just poke their camera gaze just outside the racetrack off into turn 1, there's a little BMX track over there, Kenny, and we've seen the BMXers out there in action all afternoon long, and I think someone was giving you a little bit of a hard time about that today, weren't they?
I rode a little motorcycle up here. I rode a little 250 Honda, and they said, you need to go over to the motocross track. And I said, that's a bicycle track, isn't it? And they said, well, heck, you got a 250. There you go. So I said, yeah, they were giving me some trouble.
There's a good shot of it over there. You think you can take those kids on that 250?
I don't want to jump it.
How cool is that? Racing of all kinds here at Toledo Speedway. And it's got to be pretty cool for those BMXers over there to hear these race cars. Or maybe we'll get some of these guys to come on over here and race with us someday. How cool would that be? So we're going to have less than 10 laps to go here, Kenny, when we do go back racing here to put a period on the Hearst Potatoes. Hey, check this out. We're about ready to get this going here. We're going to drop the gate on this one. Let's see who. Oh, that's an aggressive start there. How about that?
The only thing I don't like about that is pedaling.
That's it. I don't like it either.
Yeah, I don't want to pedal.
I did a 20-mile bike ride before we came over to the track today, and I do not want to pedal anything else at all today. So
you rode 20 miles on a bike?
I did. No one was chasing me.
I rode 100 and something.
Yeah, you were driving though. I was pedaling.
Had an engine.
Yeah, I don't want to pedal a bike today. I'm done. I'm done for the day. But this, how cool is this? Right here on the ground.
Neat.
Yeah. So pace car is rolling. We're going to withdraw the red flag here momentarily. So we're going to have less than 10 laps to go once we go back green flag racing here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. what are you, as you're sitting here for the 5 minutes, it's got to be kind of torturous for both Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs to sit there and have to think about this for a few minutes.
Restart. You have to get that restart right.
Can you overthink a situation like that while you're sitting there under red flag?
Oh yeah, you can overthink real easy, but you know what works and what doesn't.
I kind of feel it's almost like a basketball player with free throws. It's got to come down to muscle memory at a point like this, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's so easy to do. Spin the tires, miss a shift or something, and restart. We've seen the 21. The Gibbs hasn't been inching ahead. The 21's been laying back, so he could have a little more momentum, time it right, and have a little more momentum at the start-finish line than Gibbs. It hasn't quite worked yet, but they're thinking about doing everything they can, and Holmes is sitting there thinking, when these guys rubber on each other and go up the racetrack, I'm going right underneath them. Right,
he wants that to happen.
And take this lead over. So
this was the caution flag that Chase Cabri was looking for. Chase will pick up the free pass and rejoin the tail end of the lead lap. He will restart back in the 8th position.
okay, it's not one to go. We're still got one more lap.
Before we do go back green flag racing, we do want to give a shout out to Chris Wright and all of the officials with the ARCA Menards Series East. There has been a lot of work by a lot of people to make this race happen, and we certainly cannot do this without countless, hundreds, thousands of man hours trying to get this thing back together. So Chris and his staff, thank you very much for the hard work that you have done, and to Ron Drager and everybody at the ARCA home office. Again, kudos to everybody for working with the various governmental agencies to get the approval to make this race happen. Race fans, we wish you were here in the race, in the grandstands with us, but second best thing, live on Track Pass and on NBCSN. We certainly appreciate your support, and we look forward to having you back here with us very, very soon as we do get the one-to-go signal. We're going to have 8 laps to settle it, Ken, and I think it's going to be a pretty intense 8 laps.
It's going to be intense, yes. I just got a text from Bill Venturini, and they broke a main shaft in the transmission.
Oh, that is not good.
You buy all the good parts, and you run them as long as you think you can, and sometimes they break before you. I mean,
right.
it just happens.
Hopefully, it's not out of warranty.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot of warranties on some of these racing parts, but that is a tough break for basically as a 25-punch main shaft on the transmission going away early in the going.
This is going to be pretty important right here.
Pace car is off. We are approaching the restart zone. 8 laps to settle it here in the Hers Potato Chips 200. Green flag back in the air. Ty Gibbs with the jump down the front stretch. Let's see what Brett Holmes can do here with Sam Mayer side by side for that second position. Holmes washes up just a little bit. That's going to allow Mayer to get the advantage down that door shut there through turns 3 and 4. Ty Gibbs stretching out a 3-car length lead as we come to complete lap 193. 7 laps to go here in the Hers Potato Chips 200. Ty Gibbs with a 4-car length advantage down the backstretch. Sam Mayer in second. He's got Brett Holmes in tow. Field stringing single file down the front stretch. Chase Cabri was a lap down 5 laps ago, Kenny. He has worked his way back up into the 5th position, trying to work his way to the inside of Taylor Gray. Gray going to hold on to the 4th spot as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Cabri sawing on that steering wheel, trying to find some racing room to take over that 4th spot and chase down the top 3. He's going to dip to the inside down the backstretch. Taylor Gray to the outside. Cabri coming together with Taylor Gray. Gray sawing on that steering wheel as they race their way down the front stretch and off into turns 1 and 2. Taylor Gray to the outside. Now Parker Retzloff to the inside. Give Cabri the 4th position. Parker Retzloff trying to take over 5th as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Coming to complete lap 197. Nick Sanchez looking to make it 3-wide contact down into turns 1 and 2. Taylor Gray going to go around. Parker Retzlaff going to go around, and that's going to put us under the caution flag. Coming to complete lap 198. Kenny, you could see it coming when they went 3 wide. There is not room for 3 cars down in turns 1 and 2.
Now, what do you think Ty Gibbs is?
Yeah, what do you think Ty is thinking right now? He's got to do that again.
He's got to do that again.
And just to give a refresher on the restart rules here, the overtime rules here in the ARCA Menards series, we finish under green flag. We will have a checkered flag finish. Doesn't matter how many times we've got to do it. We will finish with a green flag finish here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. And there you see leader Ty Gibbs. He is going to have to face at least one more restart before he celebrates down in Victory Lane. You see Taylor Gray's dad down in the field here, and can't be too happy with what he saw down there.
No. But, you know, I always go to the little tracks, and there'll be some young driver standing beside his car that's, you know, all tore up. And you just go up and put your arm around and say, man, you know, I hate it for you, hate it for you. The only thing I can promise you is you keep doing this, you're going to have worse nights, you know, and they're going to have worse days.
Well,
they're going to have a lot better days, but there's going to be worse days too.
It's got to kind of find that even ground with your emotions. Sometimes they're going to be good, sometimes they're going to be bad, but this is tough for Taylor because he has come to a stop down there and has lost some laps. Unfortunately, that's going to take him out of the battle for the top 5 here today. It was a good, solid performance for the ARCA Menards Series East debut for this young man. He had a shot at the top 5 here today.
Good job.
Driving for David Gilliland and Bo Lamastis, the DGR Crossley team. Let's see if we can get him pushed and refired. Looks like he has dropped the window net, so it looks like Taylor Gray may be calling it a day here in that number 17 car.
Three wide. You know, when you're on the inside, it's like, oh man, I know this doesn't make a lot of sense, but there's a hole. There's a full-size hole. It's just when you go down in one, and the other 2 cars start moving down.
Right.
And it's like, I hope they all know I'm here.
Well, what was that famous quote from Ayrton Senna back in the day? When there's a gap and you don't go for it, you're no longer a race car driver. You have to go for that gap, right? That's exactly what Nick Sanchez did. Unfortunately, they just ran out of racing down there, as we do get the 1-to-go signal here. So we will have a 2-lap dash to the finish. Ty Gibbs, again, going to fire off from the inside line. He's going to have Sam Mayer to his outside. What did Sam learn on that last restart as we, again, see our friends at Hers Foods there?
He's got to do something else.
Got to do something different, doesn't he?
You know what that move did for Nick, though, is it put him into 5th place.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez moving up into 5th, and he's got a shot here. If these guys continue to bounce off of one another, this could be a very unpredictable finish. As we see the pace car pulling off into the infield, Ty Gibbs leading the field back to green.
Very, very slow restart.
Field now in the restart zone. Green flag back in the air, and Sam Mayer with the jump this time.
He got a good start. I don't think it was good enough to hold him all the way down.
Let's see if Mayer can. No, not going to make it happen. Ty Gibbs going to sneak out and take over the lead. And you see a battle for that 3rd position. Brett Holmes going to hold on to 3rd as we got the white flag in the air here at start finish. Ty Gibbs with the lead. Sam Mayer in 2nd. Mayer tried to close the gap down the backstretch. Ty Gibbs with a 1-car length advantage as they work their way off to turns 3 and 4. Mayer putting a couple of tires off into the grass. Not going to be able to catch him. Ty Gibbs going to win the Hearst Potato Chips 200. Sam Mayer going to come across the stripe in 2nd. Brett Holmes in 3rd.
Today made me hungry to see some more ARCA Menards races.
I need some more ARCA Menards Series races in my life today, too, because that was a pretty good show. These 2 drivers up at the top of the field doing battle for 200 laps. They started side by side. They finished nearly side by side. Ty Gibbs picking up career win number 2 and his first win of the 2020 ARCA Menards Series East season here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200. And you knew that winning streak was going to have to come to an end sooner or later for Sam Mayer, but not a bad day for him coming across the stripe in 2nd. And how about another great run for Brett Holmes coming across the stripe in 3rd.
Well, Dick Trickle taught us years ago that Sam won 2nd place.
Right.
Yeah, because the guy that ran 3rd wanted to win second.
He
but
sure
Brett
did.
wanted to win second, but Sam
sure
won
did.
second.
We're going to bring Ty Gibbs down into victory lane, celebrate his first victory here of 2020.
This is where the fans are usually hollering and screaming and stuff.
Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the full field rundown here, the Hearst Potato Chips 200, as we await Ty Gibbs climbing out of his car. He was the winner here today. Sam Mayer coming across the stripe in second. Brett Holmes in third. Parker Retzloff coming across in fourth. And it looks like Nick Sanchez coming across the stripe to claim the final spot in the top 5. Justin Carroll coming across in sixth. Taylor Gray in seventh. Ryan Repco back in eighth. Really, looks like we don't have the full field rundown here because timing and scoring has crashed up here in the tower, so that may or may not be correct. We do know that Ty Gibbs went to victory lane. That much we're sure of.
Yes. The young man did a real good job. Very good job, Dave.
Here you see Ty climbing out of his car, celebrating with an ice cold Monster Energy drink. And you know, it's unseasonably cool here today, Kenny. You're wearing a hoodie here today. It's didn't get above 65 degrees here today, but in any case, nice to celebrate with a cool drink as he shares a quick victory celebration with his team. Now we can give you a look at the top 10 finishers here today. Again, Ty Gibbs, your winner. Sam Mayer in second. Brett Holmes, Chase Cabri, and Nick Sanchez rounding out the top 5. Justin Carroll coming across the stripe in sixth. Parker Retzloff was seventh. Taylor Gray, Ryan Repco, and Bob Pulaski rounding out the top 10. We'll go ahead and round out our 15-car starting field. Giovanni Bermonte got tied up in a crash at lap 175. He was 11th. Max McLaughlin, Mike Basham, Mason Diaz, and Brad Smith rounding out our 15-car starting field here today.
Yes, victory lane celebrations have changed.
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit.
Got to have your mask on. Yeah. Let's see if we can go down and get a winner with Ty Gibbs, a winner here in the Hearst Potato Chips 200.
Nobody else here to talk to.
Congratulations on your win. What do you feel? How do you feel after winning the first race back?
Yeah, it feels really good. We had a fun time out there racing. I had a blast. I learned a lot. I just can't thank all these guys enough. Terrible Herps, Troy, Monster Energy, Mitch, everybody that helps me and my grandpa, my family, everybody that helps me get to this point. I can't thank them enough. And, you know, it's really good to come back out here and get a win. And especially last year I was second, so it's good to move up a spot, which is always nice. But, yeah, I had a fun time. And, from Phoenix, remember the sunglasses, so I'll just put these right back on here.
Did you struggle with anything today?
No, I did not. I actually did. I a little bit of drive off wise. I was pretty loose there, and that's what hurt me. And that's where the 21 was a little bit faster. And then once we fixed that, my guys fixed that. It was still a little bit loose, but I had to work for it, which is always good. So I had a good learning experience today and how the fans and cars work. And yeah, it was a fun time.
The 21 and you were battling all race. How did you feel with all those cautions at the end?
Yeah, it was kind of annoying, and Farmer Bob wouldn't get out of the way, which was really annoying sometimes. But yeah, I had a fun time. I ladder struck for Sam. It was a good racing, and you know, it was a blast. I like short track racing, but Pocono now, so first big track. I'm really excited to do that, and you know, I just can't thank Monster Energy enough, and Jogish Racing. Everybody that helps me get to this point motivates me, and the man above for sure. The man above gets me through every single day.
Congratulations.
And there you see Ty Gibbs celebrating with a big swig of Monster Energy drink. Everybody's starting to make their way back into the pit area to call it a day here at Toledo Speedway. Ty Gibbs picking up win number 1 here in 2020. And we certainly appreciate you joining us here on Track Pass on NBC Sports Gold. Kenny Schrader, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to having you back with us sometime later on in the season. We will be back in action here on NBC Sports Gold, Track Pass from the Utah Motorsports Campus, coming up on June 27th with the ARCA Menards Series West. Here you see some beating and banging as we close down on the end of this one. Congratulations to Ty Gibbs, winner of the Hearst Potato Chips 200.